Alright, guys, as some of you may know, I'm a huge Dragon Ball fan. I've been searching all over Netflix to watch Dragon Ball episodes, but unfortunately, Netflix here just doesn't have them. But you know which version of Netflix does? Netflix Japan. Some of you might be wondering, how on earth am I accessing Netflix Japan, right? Well, that's where NordVPN comes in. NordVPN is one of the top VPN services out there. It allows you to mask your location and browse securely, which is perfect for protecting your privacy. Plus, NordVPN can basically change your location to anywhere in the world with just a few clicks. So it's just as easy as that. That's how I'm able to access Netflix Japan and binge all of the Dragon Ball episodes that I can fathom. It's not just about watching international shows, however. NordVPN adds an extra layer of security basically as you're browsing, so your personal information stays safe and your online activity remains private. If you want to unlock more content and protect your privacy online, head over to nordvpn.com/Harariboy to get over 70% off a 2-year subscription plus 3 months free. And if you don't like it, you can cancel within 30 days and get a money back guarantee. It is worth the peace of mind and extra content you'll have access to. Thank you. What's going on, guys? Happy New Year. Happy 2025 to all of you. Yeah, Trump's president now. Now what? That and much more in today's episode of the Harariboy Podcast.
Is there anything China, Canada, and Mexico can do tonight to forestall your implementation of tariffs tomorrow?
No, nothing. We'll have, I think, some very fair. All we want is a fair deal. And you know, there's a word reciprocal. I'd go right now, reciprocal tariffs on everybody. Because many of the countries that you feel so horrible about, the way they're being treated by Trump, you're saying, oh, President Trump is so terrible to them. Well, they charge us tariffs. European Union has a VAT tax, which is through the roof, okay? It's a similar thing, similar to a tariff. It's a VAT. And they have it, and it's numbers like you wouldn't believe. And Canada, I told you about the banks, and I told you they charge us. And people don't say that. They don't like to say it.
All right, so let's get into it. What happened? First of all, like I always like to say, is no matter who's in the White House, your finances should not be dictated by that. And it really isn't, historically speaking. However, there are some things that could affect you day to day. Things like tariffs and things like tax cuts. These have a direct impact on you as the consumer, as many of you may know. So yeah, at the beginning of this month, there was a tariff scare. Essentially, tariffs were put on Canada, Mexico, and China. And I believe they got rescinded almost entirely now. But there was cause for pause there, and there was a huge firestorm regarding this. And yeah, let me just tell you guys how you guys can weather the storm. So, whenever tariffs do get put on, right, people automatically assume that the cost of goods will rise up. And a lot of times, yeah, that is the case. And, that isn't a reason for you to panic, especially with, a lot of the plans that are being thrown out there and stuff like that. For example, if you had tariffs in conjunctions with significant tax cuts, that can mean a significant raise for your pocketbook that, the increase in goods really wouldn't mean much. Now, that's a perfect world scenario. But let's say, for example, nothing changed on the tax front and we just had these tariffs to deal with. Number one, let's talk about groceries. A couple of things you can do is that if you are, no, I'm not saying go ahead and panic, but if you are aware that this is going to happen, like an announcement has been made, definitely look out for other people. Don't try to hoard too much. But one of the things that I do suggest doing is going and buying in bulk. Like if you have a Costco membership, Sam's Club membership, that's a good time because a lot of times you'll get these deals, like let's say on eggs, where you can get a bunch of them at pretty much a wholesale price. So that's number one. Buy in bulk as much as you can. When it comes to produce and stuff like that, your local farmers market is always a way to go. You can literally find steals there. I literally mean that. And yeah, a lot of times people like to do that. There's a few that you can look into. Just especially if it's just outdoors and there's no overhead and stuff like that. Those are a good place to look into. And then last but not least, another thing you can do to kind of weather the storm when it comes to produce increases is essentially all your boxed goods. Just try to get them in, your packaged goods. Just try to get them from like discount places. Kroger, for example, Walmart, for example, things like that. And then, you'll pretty much be fine. Like I said, this is not a time to panic. Now, what do tariffs do to the stock market? So a lot of you that have portfolios and stuff like that of stocks, you're out of debt and you've invested in your 401k and you have a couple of mutual funds, maybe a couple of stocks here and there. How will that impact you? Now, there was a panic, especially with the new AI stuff going on, ByteDance ripping off, uh, OpenAI and stuff like that. Nvidia stock was tumbling. These are the reasons why I don't tell you guys to invest in single stocks. Single stocks, for reasons like this, for people that can't weather the storm really well, and jump off the roller coaster as soon as things go down, don't like to see their whole portfolio sink. And if you just invest all your eggs in one basket, that's exactly what's going to happen. So Nvidia, the reason why I'm singling that one out, it's because it's been having a pretty good run. I mean, it's been in the past couple of years, been increasing more than 100% a year, and people are going to look at that. I even look at that and I'm like, that's outperforming any mutual fund that's out there, any high earning mutual fund, which is the average is like between 10 and 15%. So that isn't really appealing to most people. I know that, and I'm not saying that I don't invest in single stocks, but if so less of your portfolio is in single stocks, you can weather that storm just fine. Like, let's say 10% of your whole stock portfolio was in Nvidia, and you were doing so well in Nvidia, and now you're just watching it tank down. It's such a negligible amount for you that your whole portfolio does not depend on that. So that's what I want you guys to do first and foremost. So that's number one. Number two, a lot of times these tariffs I don't think had a significant impact yet on the stock market. I mean, people are saying that energy stocks and stuff like that could be impacted. I'll just keep an eye out on the technology stocks. I feel like those are the ones that people are most freaking out about, especially with AI developing the way it is. But yeah, just make sure you're in a position where you could, first of all, you're out of debt, and second, you can weather that storm as they come through. But yeah, enough about the tariffs. Let's get into the next topic for today. The federal rates are essentially being stagnant today, or not today, but just this whole month essentially. Yeah, as soon as 2025 started, everybody was anticipating it to fluctuate, and it hasn't done that just yet. Essentially what was going on was everybody was anticipating another rate cut, and then eventually having the mortgage rates come down finally, because they have been very stubborn. The mortgage rate hasn't come down much to a significant point like we had in like 2020 or something like that. No way. But the federal rate at the very least we thought would be cut. Now, since this inflation is tinkering back up, that wasn't the case this time around. So let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of things here regarding the rate, why it's been the way that it was with the stagnations and stuff like that. And then let's go ahead and react from there.
Here's Jay Powell. Good afternoon. My colleagues and I remain squarely focused on achieving our dual mandate goals of maximum employment and stable prices for the benefit of the American people. The economy is strong, is strong overall, and has made significant progress toward our goals over the past 2 years. Labor market conditions have cooled from their formerly overheated state and remain solid. Inflation has moved much closer to our 2% longer-run goal, though it remains somewhat elevated. In support of our goals, today the Federal Open Market Committee decided to leave our policy interest rate unchanged and to continue to reduce our securities holdings. I'll have more to say about monetary policy after briefly reviewing economic developments.
Yeah, you saw that right there. They haven't changed. Now, a couple of reasons for this. I mean, inflation being one of them, tinkering back up. But the good news is, well, I wouldn't really say it's news. It's just more speculation. A lot of people are saying that, this isn't going to stand, especially with a lot of the economic developments that are happening. This is just an ever-changing situation. So those of you that are on the sidelines trying to buy a home and waiting for those mortgage rates to drop, essentially what you're going to want to do is, don't hold your breath on this. I mean, you can wait 6 months, but if you have the down payment, 10 to 20% down for a house, then essentially, why wait? You can always refinance later on if this is what you're worried about, the rates and stuff like that. But essentially, don't hold your breath on things like this fluctuating. If it happens, cool. If it doesn't, I definitely don't want you guys to miss out. And let's say, for example, it increases again, and then the mortgage rates are affected and stuff like that. You definitely do not want to wait for that. So just always stay prepared. Just if you're not there yet, don't even worry about this and negate it. Save up your 10 to 20% and for a down payment, buy your home. And yeah, essentially if the rates come down, you can refinance. You're never locked in. So don't let that ever be a concern of yours. Yes. So the Sovereign Wealth Fund. The Sovereign Wealth Fund was one of the executive orders that Trump had signed into power, and essentially it's what is that? So let's go ahead and take a look here at this video, a brief explanation about it, and then I'll go ahead and react and tell you guys how this will essentially impact you down the line.
Who just signed some new executive to talk about the president who just signed some new executive orders, including to create a sovereign wealth fund, Megan, with some potential implications for TikTok. Welcome.
Absolutely, Kelly. So a whole bunch of topics that we're going to hit right now. The president is in the Oval Office right now talking to reporters. We have not yet seen the full tape playback, but we're seeing the headlines hit from the wires. So first on the tariffs front, I heard you guys hit these at the top. Trump is saying, according to the wires, that we haven't agreed yet on tariffs with Mexico and that we will have a big negotiation with Mexico. My interpretation of those comments, since we know earlier that they agreed to this 1 month delay, is that he's signaling that over the next 30 days there will be more talks. They haven't yet decided where to go from there. For now, I would assume that 1 month delay still holds. He also says that he had a good talk with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, and we are watching because we know at 3 p.m. today they're expected to speak again. No deal yet with Canada, so a lot to watch coming out of that very consequential phone call later this afternoon. And then on China, they haven't been speaking with China today, but Trump saying now that he'll speak to China over the next 24 hours probably, and that those 10% tariffs are an opening salvo. Those could move higher if they need to see more from China. Then on the sovereign wealth fund front, this was the reason the pool was called into the Oval Office. Trump signed an executive order calling on his Treasury and Commerce departments to take the lead here in setting up a sovereign wealth fund. And Scott Besson is in the Oval Office as well, telling reporters it should be stood up within 12 months. This was something we heard from Trump about on the campaign trail, saying there was interest in it. President Biden, by the way, was interested in this as well. And on the TikTok front, he said that sovereign wealth fund could potentially be used to make some sort of a deal with TikTok, potentially using some of that money to purchase half of TikTok, as he's been talking about wanting to find a buyer for that half of TikTok. And then finally, guys, just a couple of headlines as well about Elon Musk and all.
Yeah, so you see that, you heard that. Essentially, what that is, the Sovereign Wealth Fund just got signed. we'll see where it leads. But this could essentially be the foundation of no taxes in the future, hopefully. Let's pray for that. So what is going to happen is that this has been already tested out in smaller countries. A lot of Middle Eastern countries do have this in play. A lot of times they own their oil as their asset, and the wealth generated from that allows for perks for their citizens, like no taxes. So a lot of these countries, they don't make their citizens pay taxes. Us, on the other hand, we are trying to head in that direction with this new executive order. So that is the idea. Whether it's just going to be oil, I doubt it, but I'm hearing murmurings about cryptocurrency and essentially other assets as well. So we'll see. We'll see what that does. I mean, you never know. Imagine a place where not only we're not paying taxes, but essentially we'll have a universal basic income like Alaska. One can only hope, right? But yeah, this is good for all American citizens here. So we'll keep an eye on that and see where that goes. All right, last but not least, I came across this Dave Ramsey video the other day. It was actually kind of funny, but I do want to react with it and react to it with you guys and just kind of give you a little breakdown synopsis of, what's going on.
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
I just got a quick question. I'm 34. I got no savings. I got a baby on the way in May.
Yay!
And my credit score is in the crapper, and I don't know where to begin to rebuild.
Awesome. You're in a great place. So
like
the baby was like a wake-up call, Martin, time to get real, right?
Yeah, that's what the wake-up call was. And I'm $27,000 in debt.
Yeah. What do you make?
Which may not seem
What do you make?
close to $2,000 a month, maybe a little bit more, depending on how much I work.
What do you do for a living?
Take care of animals.
Mm-hmm. You don't make much money,
And
Martin.
I don't, but I also have options of buying the business if I work hard enough.
Why would I want this business? It doesn't make any money.
That's true. So
Yeah.
I'm also thinking about getting into trade work too. So
Of what kind?
plumbing.
Yeah. Well, that would triple your income.
But it's going to be
But,
7 years
I've
before you
never-
make any money.
I'll be triple his income as an intern compared to what he's making now.
So I was hoping like maybe you guys might have some guidance.
Okay,
for
so
me, 'cause
all right, how old are you?
I'm 34.
How long you been married?
Not long. Not too long.
What's that mean? Yesterday?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. We're not married yet. Okay, we're not married yet. We're
Okay,
planning-
that's what I thought it meant.
Really
Okay.
not long.
Like really not long at all.
Yeah.
Like gonna be this weekend,
Well, we
Dave.
just-
Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho. Here we go. All right. Yeah,
We're living together in a camper to save money.
I bet. Okay,
Yeah, because
so,
things are really tight right now.
yeah.
So
You got to go get a job, 2 jobs right now.
Yeah, you need to
Going
you need to
boxes.
get your income up substantially, sir. Get your little family married and get them into a little 1-bedroom apartment. You don't raise mama and the baby in a camper, honey. Time to man up now. Time to quit playing around. Y'all were playing around.
All right. Yeah. So why did I choose this video in particular? A lot of times, you can tell by the the title right there. My credit score is in the crapper. A lot of times people rely too heavily on their credit score, and they think that it's the end all be all, and even though they are not solving their money issue of like not making enough, they think they can substitute it by going to debt even more. And this is why debt is very dangerous. And a lot of people are defaulting on their credit card debt now because of this phenomena. A lot of times it feels like free money, but it's not. Eventually you have to pay it back, but with interest. And I want you guys to avoid it as much as possible. Get your income up, no matter how essentially you'll have to do 2 jobs, 3 jobs, maybe sometimes, until you want to get to a place where you want to go in life. But definitely never use credit as your crutch. I'll even go as far as to say, don't have a credit score at all. How do you do that? I'm not saying have a bad credit score. I'm not even saying have a good one. I'm saying just have a zero, like non-existent credit score. The way to do this, Dave Ramsey has spoke about it a lot, and essentially you'll have to be debt free for a period of 6 months. Like I'm talking about everything paid off, mortgage paid off, no car debt, no credit card debt, nothing. You don't borrow money for 6 months, and essentially it goes poof into thin air. Now, how does life look like on the opposite end of that, right? That is a question. A lot of times there's misnomers like, oh, I cannot get a rental car, I can't rent an apartment, or I can't get a mortgage. That's a huge one, right? Well, let's break that down. Let's start with the apartment. Yeah, a lot of times, and Dave Ramsey has done a study with one of his co-hosts, where they called up a lot of the apartment complexes. They found out that people with no credit score can still get apartments, and the only thing they'll look for is if you can pay bills or not. So as long as you can show some proof of, your ability to pay bills, you'll be fine. I mean, I remember, I remember when I was first getting started out. I was around 18 and I wanted an iPhone, right? And I had no credit score because I never borrowed money before. And essentially, I wanted to get on this T-Mobile plan where they'll give you the phone on a payment plan, no interest, which was really appealing to me. And the only thing they had asked was, any bill that I have paid. Luckily, I had a couple bills that I paid, and I showed them that, and I got approved. So it's kind of the same theology here, where with renting, as long as you can show that you're honorable and you can pay your bills, they'll take a chance on you, and that's how it is. Not only take a chance with renting, but mortgage as well. So Dave Ramsey always likes to push Churchill Mortgage. That's one of many mortgage brokers or mortgage companies out there that will lend to people with no credit score. So if you have no credit score, it's not the end of the world. You can still get a mortgage, and you can still get a competitive mortgage at that. Uh, they're going to look for the same thing. They're going to look like, okay, have you been paying your bills on time? Do you have anything late? Do you show any responsibility? So it's called manual underwriting. This is something you can request. Manual underwriting on a no credit score. There is another manual underwriting with a credit score, but that's a little bit different. That's where people like, good credit scores or bad credit scores, and wants to still show their credit worthiness, essentially. But that aside, there are options out there, right? And then the rental car issue, right? Uh, if they are going to be, a lot of times, like this hasn't happened to me in the past. I've been able to use debit cards over and over again when renting my vehicles. The only thing they ask is a 50% hold deposit at the beginning. Every company is different. I'm not saying every rental company is like that, but a lot of times these people tend to want your business, right? So because of that, they will make exceptions. I'm sure a lot of people are not going to turn away customers just because they want to pay in cash, or let's say a debit card rather than a credit card. Just be prepared to walk away and play hardball with them. There's many companies out there. Just look, and at the end of the day, if you have to rent an Uber, you just rent an Uber. It's not the end of the world. So a lot of a lot of rental car companies are starting to catch on to this, and they're starting to change the rules. They thought the credit cards were the way to go, but now they're seeing more and more people, becoming debt free and not wanting to use credit cards, and they're losing out a lot on that customer basis. So, yeah, you can live life without a credit score. People with 800 credit scores, 700 credit scores, people like to joke all the time, but that those are some of the they look like some of the greatest people, right? But they're actually some of the dumbest people out there. And I don't want to say dumb in a derogatory way, but I just want to say, like, they play the game, they play kissy face with the bank over and over again. And essentially you have to borrow over $100,000, I believe, with the bank in order to get an 800 credit score. And once you show them that you can pay them back with interest, they will gladly love to do business with you. And it's just an endless cycle over and over again. So don't rely on debt. Just rely on making more money. That should always be the goal. So yeah, I'll leave you guys with that. Thanks for watching today's podcast episode. Let's have a great 2025. We're gonna win with money and our careers. So most definitely, I'll try to post more episodes here as well throughout the year. I'll try to be more consistent with it. I'm working on it, guys. Trying to become more weekly. Not yet, but I'll definitely grow into there. This is kind of a new space for me. I haven't done podcasting. I've always done skits and stuff like that. So I appreciate you guys along with the ride while I try to figure things out here. But we'll grow together. I definitely want you guys to do well. And see you guys on the flip side in the next episode of the Harariboy Podcast. Take care. Peace. So do you have a minute to connect? Let's Minect. That's right, guys. I'm officially on Minect now. You guys can go ahead and book me. I will be offering financial as well as career coaching based off of the Dave Ramsey principles, of course. So yeah, feel free to contact me, connect with me on Minect, and I look forward to speaking with each and every single one of you.